Welcome to Hero Villains. Thank you for always following and supporting the channel. So, what do you think? Raven versus Thor? Two entities born from two supreme beings, yet walking two completely different paths. On one side is the Dark Princess of Azarath, daughter of the Demon Lord Trigon, the most powerful sorceress of the Teen Titans, who has repeatedly defeated her own father and learned to control primordial darkness Raven. On the other is the god of thunder of Asgard, son of Odin, the All-Father, the mightiest warrior of the Nine Realms, who wields the enchanted hammer Mjolnir and the power of the storm itself, Thor Odinson. Raven carries within her the power of darkness, destructive magic, and the ability to manipulate emotions and souls on a reality-warping level. Thor carries within him the power of thunder and lightning, the physical might of a war god, and the magical power of Odin's bloodline. When primordial dark magic clashes with the divine power of Asgard, who will be the last one standing? Raven was born from a tragedy that was orchestrated. Her mother, Arella, was a mortal woman deceived and seduced by Trigon, who disguised himself in human form. That union was not born of love. It was part of Trigon's plan to create an heir powerful enough to serve as a gateway for him to invade Earth. Raven was that heir. She carries within her half human blood and half demon blood, making her a being of immense potential power. Raven was raised in the peaceful dimension of Azarath by monks who taught her to control her emotions in order to suppress the dark power inside. They taught her that emotions were the key. The fewer the emotions, the more tightly Trigon's power within her would be sealed. That is why Raven always appears cold, distant, and taciturn. It is not her true nature, but a defense mechanism to protect the entire world. Upon arriving on Earth, Raven joined the Teen Titans and found a true family. Friends like Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy taught her that emotions are not a weakness, but can also be a source of strength. However, the threat from Trigon was ever present. Throughout her history, Raven has repeatedly confronted and defeated her own father, including completely purging Trigon's soul and freeing herself from his influence. Her existence is bound to hatred and a cruel fate, as the sole purpose for which she was created was to bring destruction to the world, whether Trigon directly intervened or not. It was not a choice, but a nature etched deep into her destiny. That tragedy was made even heavier by the fact that Raven was raised in an environment that forced her to suppress all emotions. Even knowing that Trigon was a threat capable of annihilating everything, they remained resolute in not taking up arms against him. They accepted facing their own deaths and the doom of countless others rather than abandoning the principles they pursued. That left Raven to shoulder alone the burden of fighting a fate ordained since birth. After learning the truth of Trigon's scheme and grasping the horrific scale of the impending catastrophe, Raven decided to seek out those she trusted most who could protect Earth, the Justice League. With the power and reputation of the world's premier superhero team, she hoped they would swiftly stand by her side to stop Trigon before it was too late. However, all of Raven's expectations quickly dissolved. Zatanna sensed the demon blood flowing within her and viewed it as a dangerous sign that could not be ignored. Instead of seeing Raven as a desperate girl seeking help, the Justice League regarded her as a potential threat. They refused her plea for aid, fearing her demonic origins could cause her to betray them at any moment. That decision not only disappointed Raven, but also pushed her into a state of complete isolation as she faced the greatest enemy of her life without the support of the most powerful heroes on the planet. Left with no other choice, Raven turned to the Teen Titans. Unlike the coldness and suspicion she had received from the Justice League, the members of the Teen Titans gradually saw the real person behind her quiet and mysterious exterior. After only about a day of knowing her, they were ready to place their trust in Raven and agreed to fight alongside her against Trigon. Although their first confrontation did not bring the victory they had hoped for and everything unfolded in an extremely cruel direction, that very event became a pivotal turning point for the entire group. Throughout her journey, Raven has constantly had to struggle with her own inner self. She longs to feel joy, friendship, and love like any ordinary person, but at the same time fears that just a single loss of control could unleash the dark power within and bring catastrophe upon those she cherishes. After many tribulations and a painful process of growth, Raven finally learned to embrace her emotions instead of running from them. This transformation is also reflected in her donning a white outfit, symbolizing balance, serenity, and self-mastery. It was this very change that caused Dick Grayson to develop increasingly deeper feelings for Raven. Although a special bond and rare understanding exists between them, both still chose to maintain a close friendship, always trusting, respecting, and standing by each other in the most difficult moments. Raven constantly strives to maintain absolute control over her emotions and will. Despite always trying to suppress herself, there have been times when that power broke past its limits, turning Raven into an almost unstoppable force. When she no longer restricts her own abilities, Raven has easily overpowered the mightiest superhero teams such as the Teen Titans and the Justice League. What is terrifying lies not only in her destructive power, but also in her ability to directly affect the souls and very essence of her opponents. One of her most impressive feats is absorbing Darkseid into her own soul. Instead of merely sealing or destroying him, Raven fundamentally altered the core nature and personality of the Lord of Apocalypse, causing him to abandon his ambition of conquering planets. Raven's power is considered on par with Trigon, her demon lord father, renowned as one of the most powerful entities in the multiverse. Inside her body exists an entire universe of her own, serving as a nearly limitless energy source that allows Raven to sustain spells and abilities that defy all laws of physics. She has successfully withstood the power of the sword wielded by Zariel. This is a divine weapon that was once capable of severing the limbs of the Spectre, one of the most powerful embodiments of divine justice. The fact that Raven could confront such power and still stand firm is clear proof of a power level far beyond most other sorcerers and superheroes. Raven also possesses the ability to manipulate space and time on an astonishing scale. She can teleport instantly to virtually any location in the universe, bypassing all barriers between dimensions, and even freely set foot in heaven without being hindered. Raven also has the capacity for time travel, shifting her own position between different timelines and intervening in events beyond human perception. Many of the feats she has achieved are things that even angels and demons with ancient power have tried to accomplish but failed. This demonstrates that Raven not only possesses immense power but also exhibits a rare level of mastery over magic and supernatural laws. When reaching a state of omnipotence, her power is considered on the same level as the Spectre, Phantom Stranger, Amethyst, and embodiments of the emotional spectrum such as Ion and Parallax. At this level, Raven is no longer simply a sorceress or superhero, but an entity capable of directly affecting the fabric of reality, souls, cosmic energy, and the fundamental laws of existence. That is precisely why she has always been regarded as one of the characters with the greatest potential in the entire universe.
I truly hope you will subscribe to the channel. That will help us immensely. And you are the most wonderful person. Thank you so much.
Now let's talk about Thor, the god of thunder of Asgard. Thor is the son of Odin, king of the Asgardian gods, and the goddess Gaia, the very embodiment of the earth itself. This means Thor carries within him the blood of both the Asgardian gods and the primordial power of the earth. He was raised in the golden palace of Asgard, trained by the greatest warriors, and destined to become the future king of the 9 realms. However, Thor's youth was filled with arrogance and recklessness. To teach his son a lesson in humility, Odin banished Thor to Earth in the form of a mortal named Donald Blake and sealed his power within the hammer Mjolnir, inscribed with the words, "Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor." Through living as a mortal, Thor learned the value of compassion, sacrifice, and love. When he proved himself worthy, he reclaimed his power and became one of Earth's greatest protectors, a founding member of the Avengers. Thor has fought against every threat, from the frost giants of Jotunheim to cosmic entities like Galactus and the Celestials. He has died and been reborn, lost and reclaimed Mjolnir, and even became the King of Asgard. Thor himself has stated that if the Bifrost Bridge were sustained for long enough, its colossal energy could destroy an entire planet or realm. After acquiring Stormbreaker, his ability to control the Bifrost was elevated to a completely new level. No longer dependent on Heimdall or the machinery in Asgard, Thor can now summon and sustain the Bifrost at any location at will. Thor's physical strength has also reached an extraordinary scale. He once used his raw power to turn the massive mechanical rings of Nidavellir in order to restart the Divine Forge. If the mass of this structure is estimated, assuming it was merely made of steel, its weight would still far exceed trillions of tons. Thor's endurance is also among the most exceptional. In his battle with Thanos, while in a weakened state, he still survived having the Power Stone forced directly against his head. This is an artifact containing enough energy to wipe out an entire planet with a single release of power. Prior to that, Thor also directly withstood the full energy stream of a neutron star to complete the forging of Stormbreaker. Although his body was severely damaged and he nearly lost his life, he tenaciously endured an ordeal that almost no ordinary being could survive. Thor is considered capable of facing Gladiator Hulk head-on without being outmatched. This shows that his offensive power is on a level equivalent to one of the physically strongest warriors in the universe. Stormbreaker further amplifies this advantage by providing extreme penetrating power, combining divine strength, thunder and lightning, and the energy of the Bifrost. Every strike from Thor is capable of generating large-scale destructive force, enough to overwhelm opponents with extraordinary durability and make even the mightiest entities wary. Thor is also a master combatant with experience accumulated over centuries. If he began engaging in battle at around 500 years of age, he has undergone more than 1,000 years of continuous warfare across the 9 realms. That span of time allowed Thor to master many types of weapons, perfect his close combat skills, and amass experience facing countless races and the most powerful forces in existence. One impressive testament to this is the moment he hurled Mjolnir at Galactus. The throw, delivered with the power of the God of Thunder, was described as so mighty that it made the very sky tremble, reflecting the colossal scale of energy Thor can unleash in a single strike. His physical strength is considered on par with Hercules, a god who once literally shouldered the entire infinite weight of the heavens, and not in a merely symbolic sense. Every swing of his hammer or every attack from Thor carries a tremendous impact force, enough to shake a battlefield on a cosmic scale and overwhelm opponents possessing divine power. One of Thor's most impressive feats is pushing and holding the control wheel of the world engine in an effort to reverse Ragnarok. This engine had embedded itself deep into Yggdrasil, the World Tree, which plays the role of supporting a multiversal structure comprising countless, complete, and infinitely complex universes. Thor has also repeatedly demonstrated an absolute advantage over the Silver Surfer, the Herald of Galactus and wielder of the power cosmic. The Silver Surfer possesses the ability to generate energy sources sufficient to annihilate galaxies and threaten the stability of the entire universe. Yet, in many confrontations, Thor can still overwhelm his opponent through the combination of his divine strength, combat experience, and the power of Mjolnir or Stormbreaker. These victories show that Thor does not rely solely on brute muscle power, but also possesses the ability to channel the power of thunder at a level capable of competing with entities wielding cosmic might. He has survived the explosion of a multiversal god bomb, a weapon created with the goal of eradicating gods on a universal scale and even affecting higher planes of reality. The fact that he could still continue to fight after withstanding such devastating destructive force is a testament to the God of Thunder's nearly unparalleled endurance. Over countless battles spanning millennia, Thor's body has repeatedly withstood energy sources on a scale far exceeding the tolerance of most other gods. Thor has also clashed with Galactus on numerous occasions, a cosmic entity whose power varies depending on the amount of energy he absorbs. At a fully fed state, Galactus is considered sufficiently powerful to rival Odin, Dormammu, and even many mighty celestials. The very fact that Thor can face such an entity head-on proves that his combat caliber belongs to the highest tier in Marvel. Furthermore, Thor also contributed to defeating and finishing off a celestial of colossal size, an entity possessing enough power to destroy an entire world through its mere presence. Although he received support from his allies in this battle, Thor still played a crucial role in bringing down one of the mightiest beings ever to exist. The limit of Thor's strength is demonstrated by his ability to wrestle with the living embodiment of the Odin Force, the divine power source once described as capable of destroying and then recreating the entire multiverse. Merely being able to resist this source of power already far exceeds the capabilities of the vast majority of gods. Thor has also defeated Mephisto right within his own hell, the place where Mephisto achieves his highest state of power and is considered on par with Hela or Odin at many points in time. In addition, Thor has continuously battled Zeus for many months while maintaining his performance and fighting intensity virtually undiminished. Zeus is regarded as the supreme god of Greek mythology within Marvel and is often placed on a level equal to Odin in terms of power. These consecutive accomplishments have cemented Thor as one of the greatest divine warriors ever to appear, possessing the strength, stamina, and experience to confront entities standing at the pinnacle of the entire multiverse. Now, I will make a direct comparison and battle analysis. This is a fight where Raven represents the power of the mind, emotions, and dark magic. Thor represents the power of physical might, thunder, and divine magic. Raven will immediately open the battle with a psychic attack, her most dangerous weapon. She will attempt to infiltrate Thor's mind, exploiting his fears and emotions. But will this be effective? Thor's mind is not that of an ordinary human. As an Asgardian god who has lived for millennia, Thor's mind is incredibly complex and highly resistant to psychic assaults. He has withstood the manipulation of powerful psychic entities like Moondragon and even the Phoenix Force itself. However, Raven's power goes beyond merely reading thoughts. She can manipulate the very soul. She could target the mortal aspect of Donald Blake that still exists within Thor, or exploit his feelings of guilt and past failures. This will be a ferocious tug of war, but to completely subdue Thor's will is a nearly impossible task. When the psychic attack fails to deliver an immediate victory, Raven will shift to using her soul self and dark magic. Tendrils of shadow will lash out at Thor, attempting to bind him and absorb his energy. But Thor wields Mjolnir, a weapon enchanted by Odin himself, one of the most powerful magical entities in the Marvel Universe. Mjolnir can shatter magical barriers, absorb dark energy, and reflect it back. The lightning bolts from Mjolnir are pure divine energy, something that can severely damage dark entities like Raven. Every hammer throw from Thor will tear through Raven's Shroud of Night, and every lightning strike will weaken her soul self. Thor holds a decisive advantage in physical strength and durability. If Thor can close the distance on Raven and land a full force punch or a direct strike from Mjolnir, the fight could end instantly. Raven's body, though protected by magic, cannot withstand the destructive power of an Asgardian god. However, Raven is not an easy target to hit. She has the ability to teleport instantaneously, vanish into shadow, and reappear elsewhere. She can render her body invisible or intangible, allowing physical attacks to pass harmlessly through her. This turns the battle into a pursuit, where Thor must find a way to pin down his target while Raven continuously attacks from a distance. The battle will be prolonged and brutal. Raven will use every trick: psychic assaults, shadow traps, emotional manipulation. She will try to distract Thor to stir up doubt and guilt within him. But Thor, with the mettle of a warrior and the will of a king, will resist. He is far too accustomed to facing magic and darkness. The decisive moment will come when Thor realizes he cannot defeat Raven through brute force alone. He will summon the full power of the Odin Force if at his peak, or use an ancient Asgardian enchantment. Instead of trying to destroy Raven, he will do what few would think of. He will use his divine power to purify. Thor will turn Mjolnir into a beacon of divine light, not to annihilate Raven's darkness, but to dispel Trigon's influence. To soothe and reinforce the humanity within her, this is not an attack, but an act of liberation. Raven, when engulfed by that divine light, will be placed in an impossible dilemma. On one hand, Trigon's darkness within her will be pushed back. On the other hand, that very power is also a part of her. This inner conflict will create a moment of hesitation, an opening in her defense. And that is precisely the opportunity Thor needs. He will take her down with a controlled punch, strong enough to end the fight, but not enough to kill her. This is a battle that Thor wins. Raven is one of the most dangerous magical entities, and under certain circumstances, if she were to unleash the full power of Trigon and abandon her humanity, she could be a threat that even Thor in his base state would struggle to handle. However, Thor possesses all the necessary tools to counter Raven. He has overwhelming physical strength to end the fight if given an opportunity, divine power from Mjolnir and the Odin Force to counter dark magic, and an unyielding will forged over millennia to resist psychic manipulation. More importantly, Thor is a god. His divine blood and nature provide a natural layer of protection against demonic forces, much like a cross can repel a vampire. Raven will fight bravely and pose countless difficulties, but ultimately, before the power of the thunder, her darkness will have to fade.
And that is our analysis of the battle between the Dark Princess and the God of Thunder of Asgard. Let us know your opinion by commenting down below. Are you on the side of Mystic Darkness or Divine Thunder? If you enjoy matchups between magical and mythological forces like this, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future cosmic battles. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again in the next showdowns. That is today's video. Thank you very much.